Do we have a surgeon or an acting surgeon or?
Who's next in line?
I did it last.
Anybody can do it.
I will.
Person call it.
Boris, you want it?
I'll do it. Okay.
No.
Okay, here we are, first meeting 2016. Hey, this is gonna be a good year. The idea of New Year's is a good thing. We're here, we're gonna have a great meeting. And I would like to introduce our president, Vince Bullinger. Hey.
Thank you, Boris. Good morning, everybody. If you would be so kind as to all rise, and if you care to do so, please join me in saluting our flag and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have a timer today? Or do you have an opening invocation?
I do.
So now, please give it to us.
When we walk to the edge of all the light we have and take the step into the darkness of the unknown, we must believe that one of two things will happen. That there will be something solid for us to stand on, or that we will be taught to fly. Patrick Overton.
Right. Do we have a minute from the previous meeting? Nope. We want.
Good.
Yeah, a little bit later start with like. Any old business that we want to bring up? No, I don't feel like it's saying. Any new business?
Weren't you talking about officer training?
That's not business, man. That's announcements. That's announcements. It's not business, man. All right. So, any new business? Actual business, real business, not announcements. We'll get to the announcements eventually, which I know you want to discuss. All right, announcements. Mike?
Officer training coming up.
Oh yes, of course. So if you were an officer and you were not trained in the last go around, meaning August, September, I think it's just August, September, maybe July, August. Anyway, if you did not get trained, you basically, I'm saying you have to do it now. And we need to have 4 people. I'll do it twice. We have 7 people that can be trained, and 7 or 6, I can't remember. But anyway, so I'll get trained again. In fact, I'm planning on going this Saturday to the TLI, the Toastmasters Leadership Institute in Stillwater on this upcoming Saturday. I live in east side of St. Paul, so it's not a long drive for me, in case you're wondering. There is one in Bloomington. Still don't know the date, or I still don't know the place, but it is on the 23rd, and that's for our particular district or area. And but there's one nearby you at some point either this month or next month. So if you weren't trained last go around, make sure you do so this time around. And we need to have 4 in order to be part of the Distinguished Club program. Don't know what that is? Stay tuned later today and you'll find out. Okay, let's see other announcements, because this is a borrowed computer. Thanks, Will. I don't have the other. I'm not logged in as a TechMasters person, so I don't have the other things I want to bring up. But I'll try to remember. There's something called Co-Freeze, which is I want to say next Thursday. It's a small mini conference that I thought was interesting. This Thursday at 5:30 here in this exact location, the .NET user group is going to be talking about Node and MongoDB. I believe John Coltner is going to be giving that. If you don't know who that is, he's a very good presenter, so I suggest going to that. Also, ILM should kind of support our response team, right? Any other announcements anybody has to bring up? Okay, so let's move on to the awards tracker. If you remember last time I brought this up, we're going to try to keep this up to date. So get out your manuals, everybody. If you have your competent communicator and competent leader, please get them out. If you have a role today, you're going to be able to mark that down. Your competent leader. If you don't have them, if you went wrong, hurry up. Okay? Seriously, I'm not kidding. Like I remember last time I asked, everybody have their competent leader? Nobody had it. Why? Come on, keep bringing it. If you have it, there you go. Thank you very much. Let's see. So here's what I had kind of ad-libbed a bit. I marked down, if you notice, I put people who are in Speechcraft. I said you have 7 speeches left, because I know you had 3 from Speechcraft, so I know you have 7 speeches left for your communicator. The red means what you're working on, the green means what you've accomplished. And actually, I should probably mark this down as green, but then again, that's the file. And so if you don't have a number on your I don't know about the conflict leader, but for the speeches, if you could tell me, or if we could work this out in the next couple weeks, so we have proper numbers down for everybody, and then whenever we actually give a speech, whenever we'll be able to track these down during the business week, so that we can all keep on track. But the point of this is to kind of keep us all honest, right? Let's see. For Alex, he had a 1 written down. I don't know if that was 1 left or 1 done. I don't know what you had.
It was 3 years ago.
So you have 1 speech left for your speech here, so?
Which was it that I'm 1 done? It was 1 done, like 6 done.
Okay. Oh, 1 done. Okay, so now I'll say, so I'll put that as a 4, meaning forward. Okay. And then we'll keep that. All right. So today's Toastmaster is Loris. Loris, he's been a Toastmaster for over 20 years, I believe.
Yes.
What have you achieved? Are you a distinguished Toastmaster? Are you what do they call the competent communicator for those competent communicators? I think they call it, huh?
CTM,
Competent Toastmaster. So hopefully you'll be able to bring everything you've had to the table, but I'd like to see you get on track and do a lot of those things to help us out in as far as getting to the Distinguished Club program and meeting that kind of thing. So please help me welcome a long-term Toastmaster, Loris Holbrook.
Thank you, guys. I think I'm from the dark side because I don't always follow the rules, and I can't say that I've been following the manuals 100%. So Vince is right. I suppose it's a new year. I should get on track. Suppose that's what's up. Okay, I am here today as a Toastmaster. I'll keep the meeting running, put some energy into it. It's a new year. Let's get started right. So, okay, Courtchester, Courtchester, who is Courtchester today? Courtchester, Jesse.
Jesse's not here today.
Jesse's not here, okay. All right, who is,
I want to make, just the thing is, I see this meeting is kind of like a bike. It's almost too tired. Let's get some energy going.
All right, Mike. Thank you. 1 minute Toastmaster. The 1 minute Toastmaster is listed as Nick, and Nick is not here. Does anybody have a brief lesson they could give us? Well, I guess, Vince?
I think you, Mr. Toastmaster. One of the major important things about Toastmasters is timing. You got a timer role, and the timer role is there for a reason. Not only do we want to work on our public speaking and our communication skills and our leadership skills. Another thing is, as far as becoming a complete speaker, is to worry about your timing. For example, Jesse obviously was showing us something really interesting. We had the Courtchester role, and as soon as we were finished with it, Jesse walked in. In fact, if you want to be really funny, timing is key. So thank you for a very, very hilarious Courtchester, Jesse.
I still have a joke if you guys are.
All right, hey, today is bonus round. Hey, all right, Jesse.
Oh, all right, excellent. Great.
I'm waiting all week to tell a story. So there's a friend of the family of ours. We're going to call her Janice from accounting, just for privacy's sake. And anyways, Janice from accounting tells us the story of going to a ski resort. And at the ski resort, it's a really popular ski resort. And so lines are super long. Her and her boyfriend are in line and waiting to go up to the top. And she has to go to the bathroom like really bad. But they've been in line for like a good at least 10 minutes or so. And the boyfriend is like, well, can you just hold it for a little bit? And she's like, well, I'll try. They get a little bit closer to the front of the line. And she's like, I really have to go. He's like, all right, I'll tell you what. We'll get to the top, then we can ski down a little ways and go into the woods. And, I'll watch out for you and you can, go to that from there. That way they don't have to go through the line again. So she agrees and they get up to the top. She's able to hold it and they get into the woods and she's squatting down and he's watching out. But as a lot of you probably know from skiing, it's very easy to start going down when you're not even trying to. So here she is with her pants down to her ankles, going down the ski hill like this, butt naked, going down the hill. You can imagine that, first of all. Yeah, I'm seeing it almost as like this yellow streak, although she doesn't call it that way. But anyways, so she gets about halfway down, and her boyfriend catches up to her. She suits back up and stuff like that, and they go into the hospital. And of course, she has cuts and scrapes and stuff. I'll remind you now, this is actually a true story. She goes into the hospital and licking her emotional wounds. And while in there, they have these curtains that kind of divide, different people that are in there, different patients. And while she was in there, she noticed that somebody got wheeled in, either their leg or knee or ankle or something like that got hurt. And the guy gets wheeled in, and she overhears the doctor asking, well, what happened? Is it a skiing accident? Because it's a skiing town. And he goes, no, funniest thing happened though, pretty close to a skiing accident, but here's what happened. I was actually watching this girl going down the hill, butt naked, and I laughed so hard while I was on the chairlift that I fell off. There you go. Good enough.
All right, Alex. Alex is grammarian today. We prefer a word from English rather than Russian, so come on up and write it on the board and tell us what it is.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Today, word of the day is rigmarole. I will try to, let's see, my phone will tell it. Okay. So this is relatively old word, 1730 originated, and how it is. So it has two meanings. It is noun, and it has two meanings. So one meaning is an elaborate or complicated procedure. For example, to go through the rigmarole of a formal dinner. And another meaning is confused, incoherent, foolish, or meaningless talk, like just Vince introduced to us. So we have two meanings, and please choose one of them and use it during your table topics, during your speeches, during your evaluations. Also, in addition, as a grammarian, I will watch your filler words and will use this ringer. So when you say or I will ring it. You don't have to say thank you. You just keep continuing going on with it. You just notice that how frequently you're doing it. So it will help you during other speeches to withhold this filling words. In addition, we do have this award. This award is word picture of a day. So during your table topic speeches, during your speeches, even evaluations, try to use hyperbole or similar, something, create picture with your words. So picture cost feels like 1,000 words, yes? So you need to deliver your message. So try to make a picture and deliver your idea. Thank you.
On the list up here, it says timer, and Marie, I believe you agreed to be timer, so.
Right there, I feel.
I have a dumb phone, would you like to use, oh, okay, you already have a phone. All right. Okay, and why don't you just say for a moment what you'll be doing in your role as timer today?
Well, I've already started tracking the time of the meeting till now. Start times, the various sections, the business meeting, the Toastmaster. I'll be timing the table topics and the responses with those. I'll be timing the break, the speakers. I'll need to know the length of time the speakers expect to be speaking for, and I'll hold up these cards and without dropping the book. And also timing the evaluations. At the end of the meeting, I'll give a report on these and describe where we're at on time.
All right, thank you, Marie. And by the way, that burgundy leather case is absolutely beautiful. I noticed it. That's nice leather, let me tell you. Okay, table topics. Today for table topics, we have Tony and When I think of Tony, I think of someone who came into Toastmasters and improved his speaking ability about 5 notches. I think you've done really well in your tenure here today. Table topics are an impromptu part of the meeting where you're given a topic and you speak on it immediately. We have the impromptu portion of the meeting. We have the formal speech portion of the meeting, and we have the evaluation portion of the meeting. Those are the 3 big parts of the meeting. So Tony, why don't you come up and do your thing?
Good morning.
Morning.
I was wondering if I was going to get a response there. Laura sent out a couple questions as Toastmaster saying you wanted to know things that were new, what might be new for us in the coming year, or passions in life. And I wanted to continue that theme in the table topics today. We're going to take some time and think about new things in our life and old things. And so Jesse, I'll start at the front here. What is one new skill you would like to learn for 2016? And tell us why.
Wow, there's a lot to pick from there. New skill. Has to be something mobile for sure. I've been in web development for a while. I've done client-side development. Been a little bit of mobile, but is more on the maybe Xamarin-y side and stuff like that. But a little bit of titanium. I still don't feel really comfortable in anything mobile native yet. So I think something mobile for sure. Probably Android. iOS is a really ugly language with Xcode, so probably not that. I like Java, at least a little bit, because it reminds me of C#. But I'd have to say something mobile anyways. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. William. Part of deciding what's new is deciding what to purge from our lives. Like in my house, we've been going through our house and taking track, getting all the old papers and stuff and de-junking. What's some of that junk in your life that you'd like to get rid of and why?
This is a very poignant question, as we just recently moved to a rental home. We've had to go through this exact situation. What do we bring with? What's valuable enough to put into a storage, and what do we need to get rid of? Some of the things that we got rid of, not a lot actually. We have a 11 by 20 foot storage, and it's pretty much full up to the 8 to 10 foot mark. But there were some things that I came across, computer peripherals. I had an old external hard drive that I just never used, but it had a little bit of value, so I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. But that's finally gone. It was something like a 320 gig hard drive. Anybody remember 320 gig hard drives? Terabyte enough is what is available now. So I got rid of that. What else did we get rid of? It's really hard to think because it went right into the trash. How about I tell you some things that we moved to storage? We moved our bicycles to storage, even though we haven't ridden those at all last year. I think we went out one time. We always want to go out and ride the bicycles, but it just never happens. But however, we kept them. We thought that it was valuable enough to keep them. So they're sitting in our storage. Hopefully, when we go to our permanent house after this, we'll do another kind of cleansing and we'll decide on some other stuff that we still need to keep in mind. Thank you.
Alex. Continuing that theme of things that we want to either add or remove from our lives, what is one new computer language that you would like to study for this year and possibly start using?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. This is a very interesting question. It's a little bit narrow, saying what computer language you have to study. I would like to do. I was not planning to study any specific computer language. And what I am now doing, I am improving my skills in speaking Ukrainian language. I can easily read and write, but it's not really practicing much. I'm doing it similar way, like I'm slow in saying it, so conversation long, little bit has pauses, and this is where I am improving my fluency in it. It may not be a computer language, but I would say now I consider it as a kind of programming language of future generation where dignity and freedom and democracy goes. It may look for you strange a little bit, but I am very much involved with recent one of this revolution going on in Ukraine, and this is very much remind me that any language, even human language, reflect your culture, your approach, way of thinking, and in some kind, it is a programming language, but it is not a programming language for electronic device, but more for human being, and it defines his future habits, characters, and actually faith. Thank you.
Right. We all have things that we're passionate about, but sometimes we have these passions and things that are really fascinating and we'd love to get into, but we just don't get around to it. What's one of the things that you're passionate about and haven't got around to yet that you think maybe 2016 is the year to finally do it?
Tony, when I think about all the rigmarole around making New Year's resolutions and how I want to dive in and do those things that you might have a passion about, but you just haven't had the time, I think back to one of those cobwebs in the closet, one of those things that every year I keep saying, you know what, this is the year, I'm going to get up and do this. And I go back to graduating from college, taking the car that I own, putting it into storage, saying I'm going to pull it out when we get a house. And moving from the apartment into the house, you know, we got to that point that that car just stayed there in storage. And I was like, well, you know, the trouble is it's, you know, just a small garage. I really don't have room for this. So it just stayed there in storage. And now it's been a number of years later. And I have in storage a 1965 Mustang Fastback that's got completely black. There's no rust on it. It's got red interior. It's got a 200cc engine, which is the straight six. It's an automatic. This car has been from here to Florida and back, and I drove it everywhere. It's got a lot of miles on it, but it's got some good miles. And the thing about it is, you think about how you go through life and you put a lot of good miles on this, and then you kind of put it away. And it's like, my wife keeps saying, "Are you going to sell that thing? Are you going to get rid of that thing? Or what are you going to do with it?" And so every year about this time, I think I'm going to get that out of storage. I'm going to go out and do some restoration on it. And then I realized, wait, I'm busy with this and I'm busy with that. And then spring gets here and I'm like, well, I should really go and take a look at it, just check on it, see how it's doing. But really, you get caught up in life, and then you come back and say, well, what do I actually end up doing? And yeah, okay, I'm doing a lot of Azure, I'm doing a lot of cloud stuff, I'm doing a lot of this stuff. You know, how do you find time? How do you make time? And my wife wrote on the board, you don't find time for things, you make time. And maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the year that we get together, we have a big party, everyone who likes to mess around with cars, come over to my house and we'll fix this car up, and then we'll turn around and sell it and have a good time. But when I think about the rigmarole of what I want to do, it's like one of those thunderbolts from the sky that we ought to do this, and maybe it'll happen. Mr. Toastmaster.
You regaled us in the past with stories of your adventures into cooking and other things like that. What's one area that we wanted to, we said that we want to de-junk, but sometimes we want to de-junk things that I never want to do that again. What's something you never want to do again for 2016?
What do I not want to do again for 2016? I'm thinking of taking a page out of Reed's playbook and answering that question of things that maybe you don't want to do with the things that you do want to do, to go off of Mike's answer, rather than going through the rigmarole of wondering, is it going to work out, is it not, planning this and that. I've been wanting for many years to continue my travel. I want to go see different countries, different places, different UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And it's been probably a good 5 years since I have actually traveled out of the country. This year, I think it's going to be different. I'm not going to be waiting for others to be ready. I'm going to be going, fortunately, with a couple friends to Peru. I've been wanting to go there since college, since I got out of college when I was doing an internship. A guy that I did an internship for back in college that kind of got my career started had once gone to Peru with his wife and one of his brothers. And the stories he had, the photos he had, the landscape was just gorgeous. Up on top of the hill, looking down of the site, llamas and tourists everywhere. It was gorgeous, it was breathtaking, sometimes literally because it was such high altitude. And it is my plan currently to go at the end of May with a couple of friends who now these days have the means and time to travel. So I'm looking very forward to no longer waiting and sitting and hoping to go traveling. I'm actually going to do away with waiting and make it happen. Thank you.
All right. Being our resident security expert, what is one security threat that you would like to eradicate in 2016? And please explain it without going into a bunch of rigmarole or rambling.
Thank you, Mr. Cable. One security threat I would like to eliminate would be incorrect storage of data in an unencrypted form and encryption as applied to credentials. We see this over and over again, data breach after data breach, lots of rigmarole and people wondering, how could this have possibly happened? But we see stupid things like user passwords being put in with an unsalted hash and used as for authentication, instead of using cryptographically sound practices. This has led to a lot of pain, a lot of personal data being lost, cyber criminals and state-sponsored threats for that sake. And so really people need to get serious about understanding the proper cryptographic methods to store confidential data, including password credentials.
Thank you.
One more, not me on Toastmaster. Are you done?
Actually, I was thinking that should be.
That's good.
Okay, great. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to our Toastmaster.
Mi país segunda es el Peru. My second country is Peru. So you can talk to me if you want insights on going to Peru. Okay, we have finished up with the table topics portion of the meeting, and we are now on to where we break. If we could have the speakers and evaluators come up to the front. It presently is, according to my watch, 8:15. At 8:20, we will resume the meeting and get rolling. So speakers and evaluators up front. And we could use one more speaker. Presently, we have one. So if someone would like to do an impromptu speech, this is your day.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we've got William and we've got John is evaluating, and we've got one speaker, which is Vince.
We can do storytelling.
Okay, all right.
Alex and Vince are going to be the two speakers, and I'm going to have Jonathan, could you evaluate Alex? And William, could you evaluate Vince? Okay. So,
Okay.
Get audience bored.
and then speaking words.
Speech before?
Vince,
Vince.
Vince, are you going to go first? You have slides?
Yeah. I have my thing.
Okay, Vince will go first, and then Alex.
Book speech, Vince?
Yeah, sort of.
And I'm kind of wondering, because I have kids.
Are you right?
And you want to discuss
Right, so I'm going to give you the information form, that's going to print it out. Second guys. So you will, and that's what I can do. So to give everybody a chance, say and so if you go through this, you shouldn't do you'll find some really good books. And so, I actually, I moved to New Jersey. I remember. This is like the so trying to find a job. And I'm so what's the title of your speech?
I'm not, I don't know. You gotta come in and talk your 30-second time here.
I understand, but that was first time here, I was here. I think about 2 years. I didn't know, listen to this conference, every conference different. I didn't know I had to do it right away. Without meeting, and that I get up and stand. So so there are some, I do have some sensitive stuff. So it's about
Alex, what's the title of your story?
I haven't used that. Well, no, I think I did use that. You know, because there was the different things you might be told on. You are you know that. Well, that's something I do. It's that's fine. How did you get that? So you're here in your life.
Something else.
I'm not, well, I was.
Time to rock and roll. Here we go. Okay, we are back in business, and Vince told me what his new things were for 2016. His wife is due with their third child. It'll be a second son, and he has written down that it's on January 19th. So I don't know what the deal is there. We aren't at January 19th. He has second son on January 19th. Oh, second son. So apparently the last child was born last January, and his wife is due with their third child. Okay, Vince's passions are to become a better leader, a better consultant, and to use his time better, as it will probably be his worst year with 3 kids under 5 years old. That would be a real challenge in terms of time to do things. So that's the story on Vince. And Vince is presently MIA. It's a good question where he is at. But without rigmarole, when he does show up, he's going to show us how to be a distinguished club. So he'll drift in here. I think he went out to the parking lot to have a smoke. But I just made that up because I have no idea if he is a tobacco user or not. I frequently will use that joke when someone's gone. I'll ask, say, Jesse was out having a heater in the parking lot. But at any rate,
It's a
Vince
good
is
time
back.
to mention something about timing, I think. Oh,
Vince is back after having his heater, and he is going to tell us how to be a distinguished club.
Thank you, Lawrence. As I just got back printing out an evaluation form for my speech on how to be a distinguished club. All right, so the Distinguished Club Program, what is it? Distinguished Club Program is a set of 10 goals. It helps keep clubs on track, helps keep us productive, and helps members achieve goals. You should have goals, and we should be here to help you achieve them. More goals achieved gives us more recognition as a club and as individuals, right? And it helps improve club quality, which will also help improve member retention. A lot of times, we get a lot of people coming in, but a lot of people leave a lot of times. And I think that one of the biggest problems for people leaving is that they're not achieving their goals. They're not being engaged very much, and they're not achieving whatever it is they're set out to achieve because we didn't work with them up front to figure out what they want to do and how can we help them achieve it. Club goals are kind of broken down into two different areas. The first area is educational awards. You should have goals involving communication and leadership. If you don't, we should sit down and figure that out. You should have those planned out every single year. This presentation should be given every July. We haven't been doing that. We're going to start doing that. And once I kind of figured that out, I said, I better hurry up and get this speech. So I did it. And you should use TechMasters to achieve your goals. You should guide your participation to achieve your goals. So for example, you have a competent leadership book. If you don't have it with you, please bring it from now on. And you should look and find out what you need to do in order to finish all of your projects. And then you can go to Alex, the Vice President of Education, and say, hey, I noticed that I have like 3 general evaluator roles that I need to complete in order to complete my competent leader. So please get me on the schedule maybe once a month as a general evaluator so that I can go ahead and knock that out, that sort of thing. Or you can actually go on the schedule yourself, and if there's an open slot somewhere, just go ahead and grab it. That's what I did to help finish out my competent communicator last year. Mold your speeches to your manual. So for example, you might say, okay, I have this great idea for a speech, but I really want to finish my competent communicator. So look at how many speeches, let's say you got 3 speeches left, look at the topics for those speeches and think, what is closest? How would I be able to mold this topic to that particular presentation in the competent communicator and guide it toward that? Or maybe you don't have an idea. Look at what you have left for your competent communicator or your advanced communicator, whatever it is, and say, okay, here's what I want to do. Let's think of a topic based on that particular speech. Here's the leadership and communication track. When you first join as a member, you get a competent leader book and a competent communicator book. After you finish those, you go down these 2 individual tracks, and you go from advanced communicator bronze, silver, gold, and advanced leader silver. And once you accomplish both of these, you are a distinguished Toastmaster, like Arthur here. Try to break down that a little bit further. I'm not gonna, I'll just give you about 12 minutes to read on that. Just kidding. In order to be an advanced leader bronze, you have to finish your competent leader award, obviously, be a competent communicator, obviously, and then you have to serve 6 months as a club officer. What I kind of figured out was that as to be advanced leader, so for competent leadership, what you need to do is basically complete your roles in the club, figure out how to lead within the club structure. To be an advanced leader bronze, what it seems like is that you are to be a leader of the club, meaning you have to be an officer, for example, president, we got vice president of education, membership, PR, things like that. And after that, you have to help prepare a club success plan, which we did last month. So everybody who was there on the club executive committee, guess what? You already got that notched under your belt. Within that, you have to participate in officer training. Okay, like I said, everybody's going to train this year, therefore, pretty easy thing to figure out. And then you have to conduct 2 presentations from the Successful Club Series or the Leadership Excellence Series. This is from the Successful Club Series. I'm going to use it for Advanced Communicator Silver. I already have my requirements for the Advanced Leader Bronze done. And that's it. For Advanced Leader Silver, you have to be Advanced Leader Bronze. You have to be, what I noticed about this one was, you have to be a leader outside of your club. Okay? So for example, complete a term as a district officer, like the area director. We've had Beth Somerville here a couple times. Do something like that. On top of that, you have to complete the high performance leadership program, which is essentially some way of practicing your leadership skills. Could be outside of the club, could be as a charity organizer, it could be something at work, or it could be something involving your club or the district, something like that. I have an idea for one, and I'm going to start doing it at the end of this month. Then you have to serve as a sponsor or a mentor to another club, okay? Or be a club coach or club specialist. Like I said, being a leader outside of our club directly. For advanced communicator, for each of the advanced communicator levels, bronze, silver, and gold, you have to complete 2 advanced manuals, which are 5 speeches each. And for silver, they add on, you have to give 2 presentations from the Better Speaker Series or Successful Club Series. And for gold, not only do you have to do the 2 manuals here, but you also have to coordinate a seminar or workshop. If you recall, we just finished Speechcraft, that counts. So therefore, I was the coordinator, and I have this sitting there waiting for me whenever I get around giving 20 more speeches, finishing my communicator goal. And coaching a new member with his or her first 3 speeches. Well, if you were a mentor for Speechcraft, guess what? You're done. Got that sitting right there waiting for you. Beyond that, we have membership growth for club goals as far as the distinguished club program is concerned. Every single member adds new value. They have unique skills, philosophies, life experiences, and goals. We're not, you shouldn't just say, like, we need our distinguished Toastmasters and our competent and advanced community, whatever. Everybody here has different skills that other people don't have. Even when you walk in your first year, you have different experiences, different philosophies, different ways of thinking, and everybody adds a lot of value. More people is good because we get to have that variety of ideas and thoughts. Membership growth at the year end, which for Toastmasters is June 30th, a club should have at least 20 members or a net growth of at least 5 new members. So more succinctly, the exact goals for Distinguished Club Program: 2 competent communicators, 2 more competent communicators, 1 advanced communicator, bronze, silver, gold, 1 more, and then 1 competent leader, advanced leader, or DTM, and then 1 more. If you're keeping track, I think we'll just finish the competent communicator. I can't remember for sure. I finished my advanced communicator bronze, and I just finished not only competent leader but advanced leader bronze. We just haven't filed the paper. Anyway, so technically I already have half of these done, but keep pushing. It'd be nice to make sure that we get at least 2 competent communicators. Beyond the education ones, we have 4 new members. Already got that one. 4 more new members on our way. Minimum of 4 club officers trained during each of 2 training periods. That's what I was talking about before. We need to have 4 trained. And I think that anybody who wasn't trained before, plus me, is that 4. And October or April renewal report and 1 club officer was submitted at a time, which we do at all the time. It's pretty darn easy. So for recognition, as far as how does that translate as far as the Distinguished Club Program? If we meet 5 out of those 10 goals, we meet the requirements to be a distinguished club. If we meet 7 out of those 10, we are select distinguished. And if we meet 9 out of 10, then we are present distinguished. 5 out of 10 is pretty easy. I think we've already got that, for example. I think that it's, at the bare minimum, we should be striving for select distinguished. I don't know if I call it bare minimum. That's more like, for sure, it's a not too easy of a goal, but not particularly difficult. 9 out of 10 would be nice. It's kind of, hopefully we can achieve this. So the club success plan, the club success plan is something that we talked about, the leadership team talked about all throughout December, and we had a meeting at the beginning. It was actually on my birthday, on December 8th, and we had talked about the club success plan and what it is and how to break it down and finalize it. And of course, as you remember, it was part of my advanced leader bronze. So list the 10 goals that we had just discussed, and how it helps determine how a club can meet the 10 goals. So we broke down different action items about what we should do in order to get these things done. It allows the club to set additional goals beyond the 10 goals that we had and outline strategies for achieving those goals. It identifies resources the club may use to help achieve goals. So for example, I have this giant rubric that came from a template, so it's not like I made it up myself. And we say who is going to be in charge of doing these things. We're going to have different committees and things like that And we'll have those during our quarterly club executive committee meetings. And it has additional space to write in assignments, develop a timetable, and track accomplishments. As part of that, what I did was I made a club timeline as kind of like a yearly calendar to think about what things to do and what we should make sure that we're on track for doing. So I think that has to go a long way to keeping us on point with these things. In conclusion, in order to attain distinguished status, every member must find new members, achieve educational awards, be trained if you are a club officer, and submit the officer list by deadline. Like I said, this one's pretty easy. This one, very important. When I went to the TLI in July, I just learned a ton of things. It was a little more interesting than the typical training that we've had, like in club, for 1 hour kind of thing. And I highly suggest that because I think that will really help improve the quality of our meetings and improve our just goal setting and things where we're going to actually be able to create a higher quality program. And achieving educational awards, I think that's something that we haven't been focusing on. I think we've been kind of going through the motions and things like that. I think that we should kind of focus on that a little bit more. Luckily, I think that we've been moving toward that last month or so. And finding new members. Obviously, I think we've done a pretty good job, but in the last few months, but I think that we can do better. And I think that, like I said, with that club timeline that I made, we'll be able to have a general idea about what things to be doing as far as how we can attract members. Everyone benefits from new members, new ideas, new members equals new personalities. Educational growth will help improve speaking not only for you, but guess what? The quality of the program that we're putting out. Everybody that shows up, if you are a better speaker, we're all going to learn more from you. And educational growth also means improved leadership. We're here to not only improve our communication, but also our leadership skills. And improving leadership is going to help all of us. You're giving back to the club. Whenever you get better at whatever it is that you're trying to do, you're also giving back to the club and helping us all out in our skills. Distinguishing involves recognition. If we can sit here and say that we've been a distinguished club, which I believe we've reached 5 out of 10 goals pretty much every year, if not every year. But it's nice to say, hey, we've been distinguished every year, and we've been selected distinguished every other year, and maybe we even got that person distinguished that 1 year. And that helps make people, guests that come here and say, wow, that's pretty impressive. They're on a point like that. And with that, I'd like to turn it back over to our Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, guys. It's good news to have a quality club, no doubt about it. I had some contact with a young person, probably 17 years old, and I told him, hey, you're trying to figure out the future, do go to a Toastmaster club or two as part of your growth, at this period in life. Check out different career opportunities and look at Toastmasters clubs too as a key to the future on where to go. I think Toastmasters is highly valuable. Our second speaker today is going to be Alex. And Alex hails from Russia and is...
Ukraine. Ukraine, you have the Toastmaster meeting.
Okay, all right. I should listen better. I recently read where that's a valued skill, and so shame on me, you belittle me as Toastmaster, and I deserve to be. And so without a fancy introduction, a lot of rigmarole, we'll have Alex come up and talk to us about how to slay a dragon. Not the Toastmaster, but how to slay a dragon. Alex?
One young squire, let's name him Lancelot, decided to speed up his getting into knighthood and went on a quest. And he could not find much of anything to do, but he desperately wanted to slay a dragon, because it was like huge. immediately will be ignited if you do it. And he was wandering and going, and there is no dragon here, and there are maybe no dragons. And one morning he got to tiny town, and he never knew about this town. Let's name it Chaska. And he talked to locals, and he said, yes, we do have this mountain where, let's say, Mankash mountain. And where is a dragon there? And you go there and slay dragon if you can, because actually, about 5 years ago, actual knight went there, and he disappeared. So we have to keep paying that dragon princess, and we don't have that much princess, so we have to just bring young girls there and every year and have to go with food every month there. And actually, he started demanding gold from us this year. So it's pretty tough life, and we don't know what to do. And actually, 20 years ago, a couple more knights perished there. So just go there and we will present you to the king to be knighted. So Lancelot went there, and there was typical path, and he found that there is some sort of a cliff, and there is a burrow there, and most likely dragon lives there. It was not very dirty, not many ponds there. It was pretty neat actually there. Some flowers are blooming, and kind of nice stuff, but something was living there. So he came there and screamed something like, hey! There was nothing there, but suddenly he hears some rumbling. And he was prepared in battle position, and there is guy coming out of it. Little bit unshaved, little bit slippery, kind of, oh, hi. And I said, hi. Did you bring princess with you? I said, no. But, oh, food? No. But why are you here? I mean, I'm here to fight a dragon. Go away from here. It's who cares about it? Just go away. And no, I'm a squire. I need to fight a dragon. And that guy came from a hall said, kind of, dragon is busy, don't bother, and actually he's pretty powerful. He will kill you, so just go away, disappear from my eyes. I don't want to see you at all. But our squire Lancelot insisted, no, I'm here. Get me dragon. And that guy said, you know what? Before you really die fighting dragon, I want to save your young life. I would like you to fight me. I'm a helper here, and if you defeat me, you may be capable to defeat dragon. Deal? The squire was kind of surprised that he had to kill a human before killing a dragon. It's tough stuff, but he has no choice. He wants to be a knight. So he said, yes, deal, we start fighting. And we start fighting. And that guy helper, he has a very good skills, little bit rusty, like he did not practice, but seems like he was a good knight and was pretty skillful. They fought for a long time, and finally that guy was older, he got tired, tripped over something, fall on his sword, and kind of was pretty much wounded. And we start saying, oh, keys are behind that rock, and kind of went silent. Squire was like surprised. What the heck? What kind of keys? To let dragon out, to fight it, or what to do? He went to behind these pretty flowers and found the rock and rolled it over and found the key. He went inside, there were several keys, and he found pretty neat door in there. He opened this door. Wow, it was a pretty good wire, and there was plenty of food, wine, like meat, everything. Some even almost fresh fruits were. It was kind of surprising. Okay, anyway, I need a dragon. So he went to next door, opened it, and was surprised. where were like goblets, necklaces, lots of so kind of shiny things, pretty much big kind of money-wise stuff was there. He was even more surprised. Oh man, I need to defeat the dragon. He kind of was really sucking out lots of stuff from the town. He went to the third door, opened it, and he saw a couple heads of young women sitting there sewing and like blonde, brunette, and like, what the heck? I really need to save this dragon. And suddenly he heard some commotion outside. He rushed out, okay, dragon is here maybe. And he saw councilman from a town with couple donkeys loaded with food and couple bags with some goblets and dishes. And there was a horse where was sitting a young lady on there. And councilman said, hey, we are here to deliver our tribute, but where is helper? And squire said, well, helper is not feeling well, but can I help you? And said, yes, we just delivering the stuff and what we should do with it. And he said, no worries, I will take care of it. Please leave horse here, princess here, and you can go back to your town. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. As I mentioned at the beginning, in a Toastmasters meeting, we largely have the impromptu part, which would be table topics. We have speeches, and then we have evaluation. Evaluations are very, very important if we're going to improve our speaking abilities. Today's general evaluator is Mike Benkovich, and Mike and I have known each other for a long time. For a good 20 years, maybe 10 years ago or so, I wandered into a Toastmasters meeting, not having seen Mike for a number of years. I walked in and he said, hello, Loris, how you doing? And it was just it was a big surprise. Toastmasters, a valuable thing. Mike, a valued number.
Thank you, Loris. And at this point, we're going to move into our evaluation portion, but before we actually call an evaluation, we're going to have a quick vote for the better of the two speakers. We had two speakers today. Vince did a talk on a distinguished club program, and Alex gave us a speech on how to slay a dragon. If you'll please bow your heads and vote if you felt that Vince did the better job. Thank you. And if you felt that Alex did the better job, please raise your hand. All right. And with that in mind, let's now move on to the actual evaluations. We have our first evaluator is going to be William Austin, and he will be providing us with some insights on how Vince did with his speech. William?
Thank you, Mike. This will be an evaluation of a book speech from the Successful Club series. Normally, I do kind of a sandwich evaluation. I do good, maybe needs improvement, and I end on a happy note. Since I'm using the evaluation guide, it's going to be all both. First of all, how effective was the speaker's introduction in helping the audience understand the purpose? I thought your intro was very clear. It was very obvious what we were going to talk about, what was coming. But you are using look like Toastmasters slides, and I'm finding them a little wordy, a little boring, a little bullet point heavy. Was the presenter adequately prepared? We had some technical difficulties this morning. Sometimes that happens. You continue to roll with it. Vince, you're what I call a battle-proven speaker, and you just keep going forward. No matter what happens, there was some interruptions out here in the room, you just keep going. I've seen other speakers get derailed by things like that. You just keep going. How did the speaker use vocal variety to enhance this presentation? Vocal variety, I'd like to see a little more vocal variety. Again, this is a Toastmasters stock kind of slide, and the content may be a little bit dry, so you had some challenges there. But I did say that you are passionate about the topic, and it shows. It shows in pretty much everything you do. You have passion behind what you do. What other techniques did the speaker use to personalize and augment the presentation? You shared personal stories from your experiences. You said, like, take that open spot. That's what I did. So that tells us how we can do something to get this distinguished club program recognition. Did the speaker display the visuals smoothly and appropriate times? Again, these are Toastmaster slides. I didn't like them. I I was not impressed at all with the Toastmaster slides. But you were familiar with them, you referred to them a little bit, but it was clear that you knew the content on each slide. What aspect of the speaker's presentation style did you find unique? Again, you're able to share stories, you've been doing this for a long time. You're able to share stories from your personal experience, and that helps me understand what's going on and relate to myself. What could the speaker have done differently to make the presentation more effective? I wrote less is more. I would like to see tighter slides, and I would like to see less, or I would like to hear less verbiage per slide. What did you like about the presentation? I finally learned what Distinguished Club means, what the requirements are, and then there was that checkpoint bullet list at the end that said, here's what you need to do to get it. So thank you for your speech.
Thank you, William. And to provide us with a feedback for Alex's speech, Jonathan Owen.
Thank you, Alex. This was a last-minute speech that we were looking for someone. One of our speakers wasn't here, and you stepped up and gave us an interesting story. So thank you for doing that, for stepping up and taking that call to slay this dragon of a missing speaker. When I was listening to your speech, starting off, I was a little worried because it started off slow, very quiet. But as the speech went on, as the story went on, things really started to pick up, especially as things became more and more action-packed, as action-filled as it was. So I would say when it comes to the story, one of the things that I guess I was looking for at the very beginning was something a little bit more attention-grabbing. It was just, maybe it was the delivery, it was just maybe a little quieter, maybe a bit slower. I did hear a lot of voices over here, and it was kind of hard to focus. It was harder to focus on you when I heard them because of the comparative volumes of the voices. But as I was saying, towards the middle, towards the end, things really started to pick up, and it really started to kind of capture my attention. I didn't hear many likes around. I only heard one like throughout the whole thing, so great job on that. What else did I think? When it came to the storyline, I think one of the things that I really appreciated was that you continued to bring up the purpose of the speech, and it was that Lancelot wanted to slay a dragon so he could become a knight. And I think that really helped with moving the story along, and that we didn't really lose track of, okay, why is he going through all of this? I will say though that near the end, when it came to door number 1 and door number 2, I was starting to wonder, oh man, is he going to go through all 7 doors? And between the last door and the new tribute arriving, I felt like there could have been more of a punchline. Like, I know it was kind of there, we all understood that it finally clicked in his head, but I don't know if you explicitly kind of laid that out. That it's like, oh, I see what's going on here. So I think if I were to have changed anything with the storyline itself, maybe make it a bit clearer on that last punchline. Overall, you did a great job, and thank you for stepping up for the speech.
All right, and now we'll provide our evaluators with some feedback by voting for the better evaluator. If you felt, please bow your heads again, and if you felt that William did a better job, please raise your hand. And if you felt that Jonathan did the better job, please raise your hand. All right. And at this point now, we'll move on to our reports. So let's go to our timer. Marie, could you give us a succinct, quick report on how we did with our timing today?
Thank you, Mr. Evaluator. In general, we were running about 10 minutes late throughout the meeting, so I'll keep this very brief. In the table topics, everything was on track. Jesse, William, Alex, Mike, Marie, within a few seconds. The speeches, Vince's speech was a little long at 12 minutes, 17 seconds. Alex was right on the edge within time parameters at 7:02. The evaluators, William evaluating Vince was dead on at 2:30, And Jonathan evaluated Alex, who was also the NR champion.
Yes, thank you. And our grammarian, could you please, let's see, where is the wise old, where's the picture? Alex, could you give us your report? How we do the grammar?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Here is the grammarian report. First is fewer words and art. And actually we go pretty good. The only person who is the champion of art and arts today is Jesse. And you can compete with Nick, but it actually shows if you come irregularly or rarely, this kind of starts growing in you. Like you need to cut this grass periodically. And Maria, I got one from your table. Next is word of the day, and today we use it pretty good. Tony used it, Mike used it twice, John used it once, Marie used it once, and Laura used one during Toastmaster. And now, word picture of the day. Today I did not hear from anybody but Mike, and he did it twice. And what I like about him is he does it so smoothly. So it's not like, okay, now I have to say word picture and everybody have to hear it. It was cobweb in the closet and thunderbolt from the sky. So that's why word picture award goes to Mike. And you conclude my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Love to hear great reports, especially when you have such poignant insight as to who did the best job with word pictures today. No, I'm just kidding. I'm serious. Stan, Arthur, I'm not really that vain. I think the song's about you. Anyway, we're going to move on now. I've got the table topic master. Tony, you did a great job of providing us with some good questions. Can you provide us with who you felt did the best job of answering them?
I enjoyed everybody's responses. It was good to get a little bit of insight. I would have liked to have heard a little bit more about what was inside of your thoughts. But I think I really enjoyed the story of your car that's in the garage and how you're hoping to maybe kind of sort of get around to it this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked Alex's seizing the moment and changing up the question completely and saying, to heck with computer languages, I'd rather talk about human languages. So this week I want to present Wise Old Owl to Alex.
Thank you.
All right, and now we'll move on to the two awards that everyone is waiting for, looking forward to. We have evaluations first, because evaluations are key to improving. Our best evaluator today was William. And for our Better Speaker Award, this thing light up.
I think I need to replace battery.
Sort of lights up. The better speaker goes to Alex. Thank you. And now, for the benefit of our guests, I will give a brief report on thoughts and observations from this. We are running almost out of time, so I've got 2 minutes to tell you the highlights of what I liked and what I didn't. My job as general evaluator is to help our evaluators to improve better, to do a better job next time. And I thought, William, you started out with a very good structure. You showed the intent of your evaluation being the form that you're going to go through. And I was looking forward to, now that you got this great introduction as to what you're going to do, you did the content very well. You really gave a lot of good points for things to improve on, but your conclusion was a little bit weak, and I was expecting maybe a little bit more in what you wrapped up. So the next time you give an evaluation, try to think about how you're going to conclude it as well. Jonathan, you did a wonderful job of speaking to Alex. what William did was he connected with the audience and looked around a little bit more than you did. You had great gestures, you spoke directly to Alex, and you connected and you gave some real good feedback as well. I think if you work on how you would do that mini speech, you have a good conclusion as well. But all told, both of you did a great job as evaluators, so thank you very much. The second job of mine is to evaluate the Toastmaster. And Loris, you connected with all of the people before the meeting, you sent out the information, you had the list of who was doing what. For the most part, I think it could be a little bit more succinct, especially in those initial roles, as to who is in each of those roles. Just have a list, maybe a sheet of paper that says, okay, who am I going to call on next? But all told, you had timing down, you got us to this point of concluding the meeting on time, and I really appreciate that. I enjoyed the questions from table topics. They were right on par with what we needed. They flowed from one to the next, and you also didn't call on people that you shouldn't. You made sure that everyone else that had a chance to participate did. And with that, I'm going to turn the meeting back over to our Toastmaster so we can finish on time.
Okay. All right. I was a bit sleepy here perhaps because I am to give out the Spark Plug Award and the Fuzzy Mouse Award. The Spark Plug Award, somebody today that put a lot of energy into things. I would say it was Mike. I thought his wrap-up comments just a moment ago were very on track with what we need. And the Fuzzy Mouse, what is the purpose of the Fuzzy Mouse again?
To explain a technical topic, a technical thing to people who maybe would, in a kind of a non-technical way, be able to reach people.
Okay, all right. Today, if it was a technical topic we're talking about, we really didn't have a technical speech. So I will pass on awarding that. Closing comments, couple of closing comments. We need to start on time. We need to start on time. If there's time left over at the end of the meeting, we can go out in the parking lot with Vince and have a heater. I'm turning Vince into a smoker here today, so that's news to Vince. But we need to start on time. The second thing, Jesse, I would caution you on your humor. I thought it was yellow, if not going into red in terms of humor today. You need to be careful on that. This group of guys having beer, it's fine humor, but here it probably is questionable. So caution on that.
It was fine.
What was that comment?
It was still funny.
It was still funny.
Okay. All right. And Vince is our president, and he will come up here, nicotine fueled, and close out the meeting.
Thank you, Loris. Still not a smoker, need a drink. Still trying to just pretty out evaluation work. Moving along. So, any new business before we can wrap up? Any new announcements? All right, so next week's Toastmasters. Does anybody remember off the top of their heads? I can look it up real quick here.
Clea, or no, Clea.
You think Clea is? Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So, well, she's not here to point that out to her, but if you would be so kind as to give her an introduction, but I'll make sure that she reaches out and sends an email really quickly. Let's see. So, do we have a closing thought from our timer?
Only those who dare truly live with freedom.
Very good inspirational thought for the rest of the day. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Whenever he does information.
Yeah, well, I can agree.
You're right.